I'm going to work on taking those out and finish up if there's any flat spots that I haven't removed yet. So that's what I'm doing with this stone. If you have a knife that is extremely dull, that you had just rounded the absolute snot out of, and you can look in the light and see that it's flat on that part, then you're probably going to need to take a pretty coarse stone like this and remove steel to get rid of that, okay? So once I have that, then again, that's $2. I mean, that's Harbor Freight. You can't get much cheaper than that, guys. This is a little sharpening system. It's got Arkansas stones. I got it from Tractor Supply. I think it was about $10. And it's got a soft stone and a hard stone. So I come off this here, and then I go to the soft stone and I work it further. I want to get, one of these days I'm going to get some 10x3 Arkansas stones, the big ones, because working these little bitty ones, man, it's a pain. And it gets it real choppy on the edge, and I want a really nice finished edge. So, but they give you this little bottle, and when you finish using that, just get some baby oil. And I got when Mama got finished using some dishwashing soap, I got the bottle from her and put baby oil in it. And so this has got baby oil in it, and that one's got baby oil in it. So just put a little bit on there and keep it clean. And again, all of this black that you see here, that's all steel that's been removed from a knife. Okay, there's no way around that. That's steel that got removed from a knife. Again, hold that angle. Take this out of the way. But then you want to hold that angle, you know, through all your strokes on the sharpening. Then if you want to go over to use this one, you can use that one. And by the time you come off of these stones, you should be at a workable cutting edge, okay? Once you have that, this is what I do. Again, you can do it however you want, but my whole system here didn't cost me $20. And you can buy jigs, and they've got belt sanders and all kind of crap. I do the whole thing by hand, freehand. It's not that complicated. You got to learn how to do it, yes. But it's not that complicated, and it doesn't have to get that expensive. So, but then the soft and the hard stone, the Arkansas stone, and then I made a strop out of a piece of 2x4 and a couple of pieces of the scrap leather that I got from the saddle shop. You can get a piece of leather from Hobby Lobby or some of those things. You can go probably on eBay or Amazon and just get a grab bag of scrap leather and just glue it down. This side is the fuzzy side, and then this side is over here is the smooth skin side. The other thing that you can do whenever you're stropping, this is called a strop, by the way, for those of you who don't know, this is called a strop, is you can take newspaper and you can strop on a newspaper, and that actually surprisingly works good as well. And I keep some newspaper handy because sometimes I want to get a little bit crisper edge on something, one of my smaller knives that I'm doing something around here for, and so I'll strop it on that newspaper. It's not necessary, you know, it may be overkill, but anyway. All right, so talking about the strop, there's some things that I want to talk about because there's some things I want to talk about with the buffing, like doing a mirror finish as well. Heard some guys talk about this, and they don't know what they're talking about. These little ones, I've got bigger ones over there at my buffing wheel, but this one is the one that I use on this. And these are clay based, and they have it's just a slurry that they mix up to make these things, and there's a grit in here just like sandpaper. And so when that grit is dull, you have to get the material out of the leather or off of the buffing wheel and apply new. It's not just a continuous thing and it never wears out. When it gets black, all you're doing is seeing the steel, so you have to get that off. I did this video already, but I'll go through it again to show you guys. If I can find what I do with, there's my brush. Okay, I've got just a little cheap wire brush, and all I'm going to do is just take, and I'm just going to go down like this, because that clay dries out, and so when it's dried out, it just pops right off of there, no problem. And now you have clean leather, clean-ish leather to start with, and you just take, I use the yellow one. I don't know that, I tried, I think the black one, I didn't like how it did. I ain't tried the white one yet, but I don't worry about what grit it is. Whatever the results are whenever I use it, that's what I'm looking at. And you just take it like that, okay? So all you got to do, and I keep this in a jar because I don't want that to dry out, because again, that clay will dry out and then it becomes worthless. So I keep that in an old salsa jar. Then again, when you're going to strop, this knife's already sharp, but I'll strop it some more for you guys. It's all a question of, you know, how much time do you want to spend and how crazy you want to get with it. It's, you know, one of those kind of things. But what I'm going to do, and this is the easiest way to teach somebody how to do this, is I'm going to show you kind of the way that I learned. Just take a mark slide. This is a dry erase, but just take and color the bevel, the sides of the bevel where you're going to work. And this works with the stones as well. So I mean, if you are on the sharpening stones, this will work as well. Okay, so I just put some mark slide on there. Then what you want to do, if you're over pulled on it, I'll run one like that. So if you're over pulled on it, it's going to pull some, but it's not necessarily going to pull it even. Okay, when you get the angle that you want, it's going to wipe it clean in that area. And this is a dry erase, so it comes off pretty easy. Get a Sharpie. It's a lot more more telling because it's harder to get off. But anyway, hold that angle. When you're on the front of the tip of the knife, you're gonna have to come up a little bit to get to that tip, or make accommodations to get on it. But again, you want to find that consistent angle to where the knife is on there consistently as you're running down that strop. Okay, and then the other direction, the same thing. It's not the bigger piece of leather you can get to do this, the better, in my opinion, because going down the edge of the blade, you're not going to have a bunch of ridges and bumps and, you know, craziness. It's going to be smooth, and that's what you're looking for. It doesn't matter what angle is on either side. If you're doing this freehand, find the angle that you want to have for that knife. Excuse me. If it's a 11 degree on both sides, 11 degree on one side and 12 degree on the other side, it's not going to matter a whole lot as long as you get to that 0 point. If you want to get that crazy ridiculous about it, then hey, more power to you. There's jigs out there, but I can almost promise you that those jigs are not 100% foolproof. I've seen people reviewing them online on YouTube. They're just not, because there's too much wiggle wobble. And so I learned how to do it. You know, it cost me $20 for all the stuff. This summer so far, I've made it, you know, a couple hundred knives, probably, maybe 100. I don't remember how many. I didn't keep track of them. But anyway, I made a bunch of knives, and I mean, this is what you see in there. That's what I started the beginning of the summer with, you know. And it takes me, from when I get ready to put the edge on these knives, it takes me about I don't know, maybe 20 minutes to get up, go over to the sander, do the rough grind in, come over here, sit down, make a few passes on the rough stone, make a few passes on the soft, a few passes on the hard, and hit the strop, you know, for a few minutes, and that's it. I'm done. You know, it doesn't, once you learn how to do it, it just doesn't take a whole lot of time. So again, the thing that you're concerned about is your pin nut falling apart. Oh, cheap crap. Is your pin nut falling apart. But whatever this angle is right here that you've got, you want to find that angle and hold that angle through all of the stones that you're working on, even sandpaper, if you're doing sandpaper, hold it through that same process. And then when you're stropping, you hold that same angle in that process. And if it's not sharp, then what's happened is that you still have not gotten that round out of the cutting edge, okay? That 0 point. You still haven't gotten there yet, so keep going. And some of the other tricks that you can do is if there's a burr, if you will push your finger across that way. Some people do it this way. I can feel it with my fingers this way. And if I feel a burr, and then I run it back this way to see if there's a burr, and there's no burr evident. If there is a burr and you just can't get rid of it, take a block of wood, just like this. Take the edge. Let me see if I can do this. Take the edge and just run it like this through that wood a few times, and that wood will strip that burr off of there. And then go back to the sharpening or stropping or whatever you're doing. You can tell if there's any tooth or not, and this, in my opinion, is where paper cutting got started. Is you can take the paper and go slowly through the paper. And if you have a consistent sound through the whole thing, then you know you don't have very much tooth. If it hangs or tears, then you know you've got some tooth that you're dealing with. You know, when you're doing like this, you can't tell what's happening with the blade. You can't tell what's happening with the edge. You know, to me, it's just kabuki theater. I don't like kabuki theater. The purpose of the test with the paper is to check for the tooth. In my opinion. And again, these are my opinions, and I'm welcome to have mine. You're welcome to have yours. What else do I need to talk about? Sharpening, stropping. I think that's it. The biggest thing I would tell you guys is how I learned how to sharpen is I got a cheap Mora, and I just sat down and I spent some time working on that bevel. I took a Sharpie and I colored the bevel in on both sides, and I just started practicing. I just sat there and started practicing. And I had a set of stones that were similar to this that I got before. They were Arkansas stones. It was a little different setup. I don't remember where I got them from. But same basic setup as that. And I just sat down and I started practicing. And then I did the same thing with the Sharpie, and I got onto the strop. And I started working at the strop, the same thing, until I felt like I was consistent, and then came over on the paper and was getting consistent results there. Now, you can look, I don't know if you can see, but just that little bit of stropping that I did on that knife, you can see the black that's already in. This is what it looked like before, where the fresh compound is, and then right here you can see where that black is. And again, that is steel that has been removed from the knife. You can't put that back on. It's gone. See ya. Have a nice day. That is gone from the knife. In closing on this video, again, it's the sharpened edge. When you're cutting, you're removing steel. In order to get a cutting edge back, you've got to take steel away. And if it's not sharp, you ain't got enough taken out of the way, or you're rolling the knife as you're sharpening. Hope everybody's doing good. I'm gonna close this up right now and shut my mouth, lock it down, and y'all take care. God bless, and peace.